Hey, what's going on, y'all? Eric Moser here with Code Red Conversations. Yes, I am back. I just want to thank everyone who is watching this video and continuing to follow me. I had a little bit of a longer layoff than I had hoped, but life gets in the way sometimes. But my goal is to be back and ready and putting out more content on a more consistent basis than ever. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to a recent, I believe it happened around Halloween time or so, a recent shooting. I mean, I saw like a little clip of it, but I'm going to play out a news report talking about the shooting, and I'll pause it when necessary and give my perspective. So let's go.
A police officer at a traffic stop doesn't even reach the passenger window before 3 shots ring out from the pickup truck stopped on I-40 near Laguna. The state police officer fires back as the shooter speeds away, hitting his cab window. Right before this, the officer had pulled over the suspect, Robert Nelson, for tailgating a trailer we later learned his parents were driving across the country. After all the commotion, Officer Sharon Duran described what happened.
Okay, I gotta rewind that. That was nuts. She pulls over the vehicle.
Police officer at a traffic stop doesn't even reach the passenger window.
Point blank range. I'm not sure if she was hit or not, but you can see the smoke right in her face.
Before 3 shots ring out from the pickup truck stopped on I-40 near Laguna. The state police officer fires back as the shooter speeds away, hitting his cab window.
Now, that's something that I always like to bring up and talk and tell people about, is the reality of a police car stop. You will hear me say repeatedly on many of my videos that a police car stop is one of the most dangerous stops or situations a police officer can be in. That and domestic violence calls are the calls where the most fatalities occur. So an officer typically has a heightened state of alertness or a heightened state of awareness when they're conducting, or should have one. It should have a heightened state of awareness when conducting a police car stop. So oftentimes people wonder why cops respond the way they do. Sometimes they'll have their hand on their gun or little subtle things like that. You have to understand the numbers. You have to understand the training, because when it's all said and done, when that officer is walking and approaching that vehicle, he has no idea of who they are. He has no idea what their mindset is. So any opportunity that they can get to shorten the lag, because you can never respond as quick as someone reacts, you'll always be behind. Any opportunity that they have to shorten that lag potentially is they'll typically take it. But let's continue on.
Right before this, the officer had pulled over the suspect, Robert Nelson, for tailgating a trailer we later learned his parents were driving across the country. After all the commotion, Officer Sharon Duran described what happened.
I fell back because it hit me. I went like that. I aimed at the wrist and started to fire my weapon.
After returning fire, she chased down Nelson.
You can see right here the officer's been hit. I'm not sure where she was hit, but you can see the blood on her hand.
For a few miles.
Some people like to say, oh, according to the numbers, police officers isn't even the career field where it's the most dangerous per se, but that's a matter of perspective. Are you talking about danger in general or injuries, or are we talking about a potentially the career field or a career field where the most homicides occur? There have been plenty of statistics that report that apart from a gas station store clerk, like a 7-Eleven or something along those lines, that's the only job that has more fatalities. And that's only on some years. There are many a year where number of police officers killed is definitely higher.
Bloodied hands on the steering wheel.
She chased him, and then for some reason he pulled over and just put his hands up.
This time, she kept her distance from Nelson.
I want you to walk towards me with your hands up. You move, I will
Shoo! More police officers arrived to put Nelson in cuffs, and he wasn't offering any explanation for what he did.
Let me back up a little bit. I want to address her response, how she dealt with it, her mindset, her verbiage.
I want you to walk towards me with your hands up. You move, I will shoot.
She let it be abundantly clear that if he reacted in a way where she deemed it that he was still a potential threat, that she would shoot him. I think there is something to be said about, obviously she was just shot by this guy, but her tone, the strength of her words, I'm sure that if they were to talk to him, that he knew that if he did anything stupid, that she would shoot him. There's a term known as command presence. That's a military term, but it's also a term that was drilled into my head throughout the course of my law enforcement career. You have to have the ability to let everyone know who's involved in a particular call or incident that you are in charge. Let them know that you will do whatever it takes, especially if you're talking about a potentially deadly force encounter, that you will do whatever is necessary to bring this situation under control. And I think she did just that.
More police officers arrived to put Nelson in cuffs, and he wasn't offering any explanation for what he did. As officers searched Nelson's truck, they found the gun, along with his cat in a crate right under the line of fire. Meanwhile, Nelson's father, who had circled back to the scene, couldn't believe what his son had just done.
I'm just thankful the officer's okay.
She's gonna live. She's been shot, though.
This, as the officer tried recalling everything that had happened. The federal search warrant also suggests she was shot in the chest, but the bullet was stopped by her bulletproof vest.
Wearing her body armor saved her life. I know sometimes, especially there are a lot of guys, especially on motors, like motorcycle cops, who I know were, especially here in Vegas where it's really hot. Some days they won't want to wear body armor, won't want to wear their vest because of the heat, especially those officers, because you're constantly making car stops, or any officer for that matter. If you have that mindset that, well, I don't want to wear something that could potentially save my life because it might be a little uncomfortable, then you need to find a different area to work in. Maybe get a desk job somewhere. And I'm not trying to put you down or anything like that, but that's just a ridiculous mindset that you're willing to risk your safety just because of feeling a little extra sweaty. Don't go to motors. Don't be in a position to do that. Go to a desk. Go work. Be a detective. Go somewhere where you don't have to wear that all the time. You have to wonder if this cultural mindset that we're in, where people love to exaggerate the reality of police uses of force, you have to wonder if this is a result of it, because he didn't seem to be mentally ill, not completely. Dude had his cat in his car and his gun, but when they asked him what happened, he just said, "I'll wait for my lawyer." He seemed rather nonchalant about the whole thing. So you have to wonder his state of mind. Was he motivated by this anti-cop rhetoric out there? I really hope that as time goes on, we can learn more and more.
Just throw those in my mouth.
A formal interview later on reveals part of her motivation for fighting through the pain.
And I'm not gonna let this person take me away from the family and the people that I love.
Jackie Kent, KRQE, News 13.
That's pretty powerful. And also, she had a right mindset, a warrior mindset. She had her whys of why she needed to go home, why she deserves to go home every day. She has people out there who love her family, her friends, who want to see her make it home. And she's wasn't going to allow some idiot to steal that from her, to take that from them, take that away from them. So great response, crazy situation. I'm thankful that she ended up okay. And I just really hope that more and more people start doing their homework, start studying and understanding that Things aren't necessarily as they seem, as the media likes to portray it. I don't know what these guys' mindset is, but just in general, if you're out there and you assume that the cops are just indiscriminately hunting down and killing black men, for instance, because that's basically what you're being told, I would challenge you to read and study the data. Read books. Read The War on Cops by Heather McDonald. It's on audio. Listen to various individuals out there who talk about these shootings, like Brandon Tatum or Larry Elder, people like that. People who've actually studied the information. Like and subscribe to my channel here, Code Red Conversations, because I talk about these topics all the time. There is the general belief that's been popularized by politicians and by celebrities and by academia and by the mainstream media that makes the claim that the police are hunting down black men. But then when you examine the numbers from various sources, you'll see that that is just not the case. This last year, it might have been 15 people shot by the police. And if you do some research, if you go through my video content, some of my previous videos, I go into detail about the allegation of unarmed and the number of police officers that are out there on the streets. The number of police officers in relation to the amount of crime that they see in certain areas. And does it really come out to be that we're looking at what we're looking at when the police have to use deadly force or feel the need to use deadly force? Are we actually looking at an epidemic? And I would argue that that is not even close to what we're seeing. So I appreciate y'all stopping by, checking out my video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. In the meantime, stay safe, God bless, and make sure you join the conversation.